I welcome you all with love. And here we are with Cousens commentary. And the first comment we're going to make is we'll be talking about spiritual integrity, which is an important issue in the political scene right now. And the first thing we're going to do is do a little dancing. And I encourage you to dance with me because that actually helps align you with your heart and your mind. So here we go with a little bit of dancing. Okay. Whew. I welcome you all with love again. And here we go. Let's just take a minute of silence just to get centered here. Okay, so Tanya Bauer, thank you. It's a good day. It's a good day, and I bless everybody with a good day. And it's the last day of Hanukkah, which is an important day of light getting into the world, primal light. We enhance that going into the world, and we move into the holiday season, and we move into the new year. Lots of good things. And our job is to make the most of it. So, what I'm going to talk about now is spiritual integrity. And it's very concerning to me that the people in the conservative movement are attacking each other. And if you're following this at all, because you're trying to get some sense of what's going on, is that the issue of spiritual integrity, it's like, okay, disagree, but don't vilify the other person, because that's not a model of conserving. What are we conserving? We're conserving respect. We're conserving humility. We're conserving love. Love your neighbor as yourself. So people are spouting off about their religions, and it's like, wait a second. What about love your neighbor as yourself? What about respecting the other person, respectfully disagreeing? If you really don't like what the other person's saying, we have to keep a certain integrity, because this is how we treat each other. This is not the way we're supposed to be doing it. You're making the other person look bad morally and spiritually. Disagree politically. Who cares? Ahmed Dashika is a Hebrew word that means the world of illusion. Our job is not to get caught in the world of illusion. And what I see with these people in their political worlds is they've created a world of illusion. It's so bad that it's hard for anyone to be able to trust that anything is true. It's like, it's hard to believe that of the amount of deception going on, and how one person is trying to say this happened, and I'm not going to mention names, okay? So you kind of have to use your imagination. And there was a plot for the assassination of that person, and it's not a good picture. And for two or three reasons. One is you want to conserve. What's the conservatives? A person who conserves the truth. Okay? And conserves spirituality, conserves love, conserves economics, conserves a way of life. And what we're looking at is people are violating that. They're not conserving those things. And so this is really a very important issue. And of course, the country has to work on conserving also. So the energy has to be decreasing the heat, because some of us feel, which may or may not be true, that the heat that was created is leading to different levels of violence, literally around the planet. And it's like, whoa. And so it's a call as we enter this holiday season to really turn it into conserving the light and conserving the love and conserving the spiritual integrity of how we are living and how we are acting. And then whatever policies they are, they kind of come out of that. And they aren't consumed in Amadashikra, the world of illusion. Now, in the bigger picture, it's all an illusion. We could go into spiritual talk here. What I mean is, the only truth is the light of the divine within you and within everybody else. And in the dance of the energy in the world. Okay? We have a global brain which we're trying to light up. That's why we have a world peace meditation every week on Sundays, about 6:15, I'm sorry. There we go, 6:30 Israel time, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, we're doing that. We're enhancing the world brain. We just finished the solstice, which is a very powerful time for putting the positive energy out in the world. In fact, solstice is an equinox, we call it Peace 21, are actually particularly powerful times where we're influencing the whole solar system. Literally, when people meditate and pray for peace in these times, the amount of sunspots goes down as compared to other times. And as compared to previous equinoctial solstices when people weren't meditating on the 21st, on the solstice and equinox. So we know it works. We know when we have a peaceful interaction and we're praying and meditating, we literally calm down the solar system. We literally decrease the amount of sunspots, and the more sunspots, the more emotional turmoil people have, more chaos. It's literal and it's true. So when we see people not conserving their consciousness and attacking each other in a personal way, we're depleting, we're not conserving the spiritual life force energy. Now that's pretty serious. And so I'm kind of making that point. I'm not sure what just happened in my room, but it's making the point too. It turns us towards the darkness. That's not where we want to go. That's not what the whole idea of a conservatism is about. That these conservatives debating each other, not debating, they're attacking. And, somebody like Charlie Kirk kind of kept it, in a higher level, like we'll sit, we'll talk, we'll debate, but we're not going to attack each other. And that was a very important principle that he was bringing to light with his debate with the college students. And that's the principle we don't want to forget. We want to keep respecting each other, talking in the light, talking in, with love, talking with equal vision, where we see people equally and see their spirits and their love and see the dance of the divine in all creation. Those are the guidelines of conservatism. And so we really want to have people who are conservative political leaders wake up. I don't care what your religion is, wake up to the fact that you folks aren't conserving right now. You're wasting energy and you're not respecting each other. You're not conserving that truth of love your neighbor as yourself. And so those are kind of some of the most important issues really that we're facing today is how do we keep conserving respect for each other. And we say love, we're not saying we're romantically in love with each other. It's a kind of honoring the dance of the divine in the other person and loving the dance of the divine in the other person. So before I go any further, I just want to ask if anybody has any questions about this. We're asking, if you want, to ask questions even before the show that I'll try and answer. Put them in the chat and we'll put them on the screen. And this is the idea of the dialogue. So the big question is, what are we doing in our lives to bring inner peace to each other and to ourselves? Now, I have a book I wrote called The Sevenfold Peace. So we have peace with our body. We're reading a 100% vegan diet, which means no milk, fish, meat, fish, chicken, dairy, no death involved, no exploitation of another species involved. Okay? And then we have peace with meditating. So we want peace with our own mind and our own heart. Okay? And then we want peace with the family. What can we do this week, this holiday time, to create peace with our families, our intimate relationships, our and our children and our grandchildren. And and then what about the community? A larger community, which is the level I was talking about here. We have larger community members attacking each other in not a respectful way, not a peaceful way. And then peace with all cultures. Now, the cultures, we're talking about the rock people, the living planet. We're talking about the green people, the plants, the plant world. We're talking about the swimming ones and the flying ones, and finally the human tribes and cultures that way. And then we talk about peace with the ecology, the living ecology. How we're relating to the dance of the divine in the ecology. And that's a big one. It's a really, really good one. Okay? If you ever live off the grid, that's key. I lived off the grid, way off the grid for 3 years. We created our own energy. We created our wells. We created everything by hand. It gets very peaceful. And it was really, really good. And then we have peace with God. And the peace with God is experiencing the peace within ourselves, the divine aspect of ourselves, and that in other people. And I don't talk about turn the other cheek. I talk about remembering the flame of God in that other person and honoring that in your interaction. Now, that may seem really, a jump, but let's play with that for a little bit. If you turn the other cheek, what you're doing is further, in our world today, further aggravating that person to want to attack you more. We don't want to encourage them to act out their violence, which is kind of what's happening in our society today. What we want to do is encourage people to wake up and see that divine in them, not, okay, I'm going to turn the other cheek. I forgive them. No. It's like, no. That keeps them as others. What I'm talking about is going into the oneness connection, even though they've just attacked us in some way. Now, I'll give you an example. This is a kind of fun example. I was captain of an undefeated Amherst College football team. And we were playing the last game of the season. The other team that was undefeated, Williams, and they had a really good halfback. And I was a linebacker. And I tackled him really pretty hard, which is part of the game, legal, everything was good, but he wasn't getting up. This is the beginning of the game. Like, man, you got to get up. We got a game to play. So I gave him my hand because I saw, hey, he's just like me. Just because he's got a different jersey on, I gave him my hand, helped him up, and we smiled. He went back to his side, went back to my side. Now, I wasn't turning the other cheek. I was honoring the God within him. We did win 20-6, but I was honoring the God within him in that moment, which I think he really appreciated. It's like, I'm not your enemy. Look, we're just guys playing a game here. Let's not take this too seriously, but let's play as hard as we can. So that's what I mean. That wasn't turning the other cheek. And I didn't say, run over me, do that again. Actually, I was the one that knocked him down. But the point I'm making is, we don't want to encourage violence. In our society, the way it is, people tend to get encouraged by their own violent actions if there isn't some level of loving resistance. And I'm going to say loving resistance. There's a way to do this without, attacking the other person. So that is a new idea for you to play with. But what we want to do is experience the divine within us. Experience the peace within us. Begin to see it and support other people finding peace within themselves and in relationship to each other, to their families, to the society, to nature, and to God. With that idea, peace be with you. Now, we are noting there is a spiritual fasting retreat in the Dominican Republic. And just go to drcousensspiritualfast.com. And what happens in the spiritual fasting retreat is that people get in touch with their inner peace. It's designed to do that. We're meditating twice a day. We're having spiritual transmission, we call Shakti Pat or Haniha. There's group sharing and kind of a tri-yoga experience. But the whole idea is to activate the inner peace while we're doing this juice fast. And that begins to open that up. So that's drcousensspiritualfast.com. People are literally already signing up. I mean, it's like almost 6 months from now, but it's good. It's good. And so we invite you all to that, May 26th to June 3rd, and just go to drcousensspiritualfast.com. So this is another way we go to a deeper pace. Fasting is spiritual fasting, where you're meditating twice a day, is a powerful way of touching that spiritual peace within yourself, and therefore it allows you to touch the spiritual peace in the other person or in the other group. So again, peace be with you. Aho.